7 students from Reddam House Umhlanga were part of this amazing journey where they went abroad with adventure, fashion, dynamics, meeting other people. Now, I have one of those students, 16-year-old Luke Besnard, who has come today to share his journey with me this afternoon. Good afternoon, Luke, and welcome to Game On Keeping It Real.
Good afternoon, thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. How are you this afternoon?
I'm really good, thanks, and yourself?
Okay, great. Now tell me, how did sport and football come about? Is it like a family thing?
Yeah, so sport came about, I think, definitely from my 2 grandfathers and my dad. My one grandfather being an ex-professional footballer,
Wow.
playing for Madrid United, and then my other being very highly involved as like a chairman at some of the clubs. And then also my dad playing as well. So I think for me, soccer being my main sport, I really have taken that from them. As well as playing a lot of other sports as my hockey, which I do play club hockey for. But I think mainly for me it's been my soccer, and I definitely take inspiration from them because...
Okay, great. So inspiring. It's a family thing. It had to be, right? It's in your genes. Now, speaking of this adventure, you went to Madrid. You've done so many things this camp with your other buddies and fellow students. How was it? What did you guys do? How was the fun, the adventure, this summer camp?
Yeah, so it was a 2-week thing. It was mainly, obviously, I went for the soccer side of it, and so it was with the Real Madrid Foundation. We did 3 hours of training every day, obviously having 1 or 2 off days, going to the Warner Bros. Adventure Park, and then also going to another adventure park in Madrid. And then also part of the experience was going to the Real Madrid Stadium and the training ground in the day, which was really a nice experience for me and with my mates. And it was something that I'll always remember.
Okay, now I have to ask, who's your favorite football player?
I think me being a striker, I still would have to give a midfielder as my favourite player, being Mason Mount, who plays for Man United, which is my favourite team.
Okay, yes. Well, I'm a Liverpool fan, but nevertheless, football is in there, right, Luke? It's so like inspiring. You've done this with your fellow students, your fellow colleagues and friends, as you put it. It was a whirlwind of adventure, but you were away from your family for like 2 weeks. Was that tough? Did you learn anything? Self-independent, if I could say.
No, for sure. I think the 2 weeks was really hard. But like you said, I think the self-independence was what I really took from it and grown. I think especially traveling all the way to the other side of the world on my own, not really knowing much, not knowing a language, then having to learn a new language was a big thing. But I think the self-independence was big, trying to do things on my own that maybe I wouldn't do if I was back home. So that's definitely what I would have taken out of it.
Definitely inspiring. Now, Luke, what would you say is the one lesson that you learned on this trip?
I think definitely what I learned from the camp was, especially on the football side of things, learning a lot more new things about football, training, you know, what I can improve on, things I didn't know about me as a footballer, which I think is really important and to touch on, and not just specifically covering one thing as a footballer and learning about all different aspects as a footballer.
Look, it's now coming to the end of the year where we have exams, going to a different grade next year, a lot of things happening to the end of the year. What is your advice for students out there?
I think definitely the big advice I'd give to students is having balance. I think studying all day is one thing, but I think having a balance in between studying, academics, your sport, your social life, I think is a really big thing nowadays, and not cramming one the whole day, you know. So I think having a good balance in between all those things that occur in your daily life, I think is really important.
Look, that's been amazing. I mean, I'm sure you did so much more on this trip that I'd love to know. But before I say goodbye, I play a fun segment with all my guests, right? It's a rapid fire 5, just to get you ease and just to get to know you better. Now I have to ask you the first one. CR7 or Lionel Messi?
I'll have to say Ronaldo.
Because you and Madrid.
Nah.
He's just
maybe.
been a legend, of course.
Yes.
Okay. If you had to choose, would it be a braai or potjie?
Definitely a bra. I like my steak.
I think I know the answer to this one, but your favorite pastime, reading a book or playing PlayStation?
It definitely has to be playing PlayStation for sure.
Your favorite cartoon character?
I would have to say Ben 10.
Okay, and then the last one. I start my day with...
There's definitely 2 things. I think I go straight for the Cocoa Pops, and then I go straight to the couch to watch the sports highlights, especially the soccer highlights, and then done.
Oh, great. Look, it's been absolutely amazing having you on Game On Keeping It Real. You're my first little guest, if I could say, but you're definitely an inspiration to many. Your adventures sound so amazing, and all the best to you, to Reddam House students, and may your adventures continue.
Thank you so much again for having me, and also a big thank you to Reddam House Umhlanga for making this possible.